Welcome to the FRCL Weekly Call. We're a group of distribution leads who get together regularly to discuss works in progress, share ideas, and create opportunities for cross-distro collaboration.
All right, it is the 29th of April. We are here to talk about CI and Fedora. I want to call it Fedora CI, but that has a very specific meaning. So just queuing this up, the subject matter here is that a long time ago, Fedora started getting CI systems and what was initially called, I think, Fedora CI. And there was a long time goal of having the same CI system between RHEL and Fedora. As Git forges have diverged between the two projects, CI system evolution has also taken place. And now there are more and more plans for the folks who manage the CI systems outside of CLE to go in a different direction. So we wanted to talk about what's happening with CI right now inside Fedora, also inside RHEL and CentOS, where there's overlap, where there's divergence, what the direction is, and see if there's something that we need to do differently, or if this is just an information sharing session. So I'm not sure if anybody would like to go first, but if not, Veronica, as the person who is maximally informed on all the things, I would love to hear from you.
All right. I guess I would start with giving some sort of overview of how things work right now for CentOS Stream and RHEL, so that we are on the same page and everybody's up to date, because I'm not sure how much familiarity these mainly Fedora folks have with these setups, and what our plans are for the future there. And then we can see how that fits in with what Fedora's goals are and go from there, if that works for everybody. All right, so now we have, for both CentOS Stream and RHEL, we use GitLab for development. Yeah, Adam, that sounds perfect. I can post actually the namespace links as well to how things look like. I'll post the public CentOS Stream merge requests setup for the RPMs so that everybody can access that one. And basically, this is the main way how to do development for both CentOS Stream and RHEL. For RHEL, currently, you can still push directly through this Git, but we are working on eventually phasing this out completely, and with GitLab merge requests being the only way to do the development. I'm gonna be referring to GitLab a lot because that's what we currently use, but in theory, you can basically do a very similar setup with any sort of Git forge, where you can have the merge requests and CI setup. So it's fairly transferable. So the goal is here that you submit the merge request and then a pipeline runs there. This pipeline is responsible for RHEL stuff, syncing it downstream to this Git. Then it does the CentOS Stream and RHEL build. It runs testing, it's checking the GR tickets, all of these kinds of things. The pipelines are utilizing draft builds, which is a concept originally from Bodhi, where it's something between a Scratch and official build. It's a build that you do. But if it's not promoted to an official build, you can throw it away. So it's basically kind of like a Scratch build that can be promoted to an official build that can then be shipped. This saves on rebuilds, so that when you are testing the build from the merge request, you can test exactly the bits that go out to Decompose and customers and everything. So you don't need to do a rebuild after the code changes are done. You just run the build promotion and you're done. And that's basically what happens after the merge request is merged. You just promote the build and it gets added to the right places. So it simplifies the workflow from the maintainer point of view, where You don't need to do the builds manually. You don't need to like interact with this Git manually. You just use very basic Git operations where you just like push to the Git and open the merge request and magic happens for you. For the regular simple single package updates, this is fairly straightforward. A bit less straightforward is the setup with Cytex, which the OSCI team is actually working on clarifying and setting it up in a bit better way than it is right now, but that's also something that's considered. Right now, we have the CentOS stream builds going through Koji and RHEL builds going through Conflux because there is internally push for Conflux for all builds and tests and all of these things. The CentOS stream team is working on moving the CentOS stream builds to Conflux as well. That will happen when they put it together. Whether this will be used for SIGs and in what way, that's their work. We are mainly here referring to CentOS stream because that's the part that is like under Red Hat's control. That's how it's mainly looking right now. We were like many years ago considering eventually using a similar setup for Fedora as well. That was back in the day when there were discussions about Fedora potentially using GitLab, and then we could basically reuse it as it is. That's obviously not what's happening, but as I mentioned at the beginning, this setup is fairly transferable. You just need to adopt the GitLab specific parts into a different forge. And then you could use a similar thing if there's any sort of interest. Okay, are there any questions for this? Yes.
So you say a pipeline runs, like, can you go into a little more detail? Like what controls the pipeline? What is it?
Yeah, it's a GitLab CI run. Like I posted the link with the merge requests into the chat. So if you open any merge request out of that, there's a lot of merge requests, so it's taking like 3-4 hours to open. But it's run through GitLab CI. So if you then use the FRCL CI version for Fedora or whatever it's called, not sure if it has a specific name, like GitHub Actions have the name and then you have the GitLab CI. But yeah, currently it's running through GitLab CI, and that's the orchestrator. I can actually post the code for this.
So that would be a fairly significant part of the work in adapting it to any other forge, right? You'd have to re-implement this in the other forge's CI system.
Yeah, there's a lot of the code that's basically Bash and Python. So that part is the easy part to migrate. The only parts that you would need to specify are the wrappers and how the variables that are predefined by GitLab are called in the different forge. In theory, if you drop it through AI, you can get a potentially halfway working prototype out of it. I'm not sure, but basically you need to only change the outer layer that interacts, that layer between the Bash and Python and GitLab.
Gotcha. Oh, and does this hook into the package-specific test stuff? You know, the TMT where you put little files in your package repository. Is that all tied in?
It should be running some tests. Chris was doing a lot of magic with the testing, so I might pass the word on that part to him.
Yeah, so there are two kinds, basically. We have the OSCI tests, which we run a different way to the others. So we trigger them on demand from the GitLab jobs via Jenkins for now. But then they go on to core testing from. And we have a second way of starting tests where currently they're triggered over UMB on build tagging events. So any CI provider can listen to those tags and start their tests, and then we poll for those tests depending on each package has a gating YAML file if they want to depend on one of these tests, and we look up that file to see which tests are required, and we poll for those for completion. So that's how it works at the moment. Some of those go to testing farm, some of them don't.
Hey, Veronica, I was curious. I think in Fedora, it's pretty common to interact with dist-git directly and not through Forge. And my understanding is that it's becoming a lot less common in the RHEL and CentOS stream space. Can you comment on that?
Yes, in CentOS stream, it's like you don't use dist-git directly at all. Everything needs to go through GitLab, at least as far as I know. And for RHEL, currently it's optional. But as I mentioned, we are trying to phase it out and get everybody to go through GitLab, mainly for like security compliance reasons. Like we want to ensure that the contributions are reviewed by somebody who's not the merge request author. You can't implement these sorts of guardrails in dist-git. So having the merge request where you need that mandatory approval by somebody is one of the ways to achieve this. So we are working on hopefully phasing out direct dist-git usage completely.
Okay, and then second question. I know there's a RHEL and GitLab project. There's also a RHEL and Conflux project. So what's the intersection on these?
RHEL and Conflux is using RHEL and GitLab as the interface. So as I said during the description, like currently you have the CentOS stream builds going through Koji and the RHEL builds going through Conflux. It's using exactly the same interface. For the developer, there's no difference. You still see the GitLab pipeline that is running the build, and the information gets forwarded to the job logs in GitLab, so you don't need to learn how the build system works. You don't need to go to Conflux and figure out how it works. You just get the logs directly in GitLab, and it's basically an implementation detail from the perspective of the CI system. We are also moving some of the testing to Conflux. So if you currently have a build going through Conflux, then you also get the SAST scanning done via Conflux, and the OSCI tier 0 tests are also running through there if you have them defined. But it's like just the orchestrator, and they are then going through testing farm for the gating tests. So it's not changing the way the tests are running. Eventually, Conflux is meant to be something that takes over the whole release process as well. So like there won't be errata, it will be going through Conflux. And how exactly that will look is something that is work in progress currently. We unfortunately lost a bunch of people who were working exactly on these parts, so we are figuring it out.
So the output of this whole process, as you described it, is basically a promoted draft build that could potentially go into an errata, right? That's like the end point. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, there are definitely some details of like how to improve this in the future, like having that errata attachment or whatever it will be in the Conflux way later, done directly in that push pipeline running after the merge together with the promotion and stuff. But that's for like future improvements if people have time and all of this. Like there are definitely ways we can push this even further.
Okay, so thank you. That was a lot. I've been busy. So, Don, and I was going to ask Adam for the Fedora equivalent.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's the Conflux people, Tomas in particular, has a Miro diagram that has a top level view and it has a very detailed view.
I can find the diagram and post it.
But that might, if people want the details, that might give you a lot of what's going on with the RHEL and GitLab, RHEL and Conflux pipeline. It's a high level architecture.
Yeah, please. So, Adam, what's going on with Fedora and CI?
Yeah, before that, I'm posting the Miro diagram into the chat. You will probably require a Red Hat Miro account in order to access it. I don't know if everybody on this call has that.
Yeah. Speaking of diagrams, Donald, anyone who's been around a long time may remember a whiteboard with Ralph Bean standing in front of it, and lots and lots and lots and lots of little boxes all over it, because this was about 3 industry fads ago when microservices were all the rage. So yeah, we had this kind of thing that was called Factory 2.0, which was a grand design for how Fedora and RHEL would get built. And CentOS, I guess, which, you know, we didn't even own CentOS at that point, I don't think. And Fedora more or less went and built that, and we're still using it. That's pretty much where we are with Fedora. So yeah, I guess I would say the big difference I notice here is that Fedora is much, much more concerned about multiple package updates, cases where packages go together. And Fedora is probably more concerned about functional testing than unit testing, if we apply that to packages. So partly because we just don't have the people to really care about tests for each individual package. What we have is enough people to care about, does Fedora work as Fedora? So in Fedora, we're still using that old design where everything is triggered off the message bus. We have the gating service, which is Greenwave. We have WaiverDB, which stores the waivers. We have ResultsDB, which stores the results. And in Fedora, the orchestration point became, well, no, not the concentration point became Bodhi, which is the update service. It's for RHEL people, it's the equivalent of a RAT tool, although as I understand it, they work very differently. It sits in the same place in the process, Donald. It's not really the same tool at all, yeah. So I'm not going to share my screen, it would take too long. But I will post a random Bodhi update just so you can see approximately how these things look. So this isn't the best example, but you know, it gives you the flavor of it. In Fedora, we have this thing called Bodhi, which was originally designed to do user feedback. The point of it was to catch when builds were bad. You know, people could give feedback and then we wouldn't push it stable. Since we had this thing, we kind of said, hey, that looks like where you should concentrate automated testing things. So that is where we concentrate automated testing things. For any Bodhi update, there is that automated tests tab on the side. Thank you, someone, for sharing. You see where it says automated tests and a little blue 3 next to it. You can click on that. Yeah. So there you go. You have 3 tests from Fedora CI there. Those are the generic, we call them the generic tests. They may be similar to what you'd think of as the OSCI tests. They're tests that run on every build. And oh yeah, there you go, Jenkins. We have Jenkins too. We have Jenkins at home. So yeah, and there are, for these, yeah, I'll get to OpenQA, Fabian. So for the generic tests, this is running through Jenkins. So what happens here is when initially these used to trigger on the builds. Right now they don't. They trigger on a signal that Bodhi sends out when an update is created. So when an update is created or edited, Bodhi sends a message. And then any CI system technically can hook into that message, run some tests. The CI system goes away, runs its tests. When it's finished, it reports the results. It publishes messages along the way, which actually get used in this process. Then it reports its results to ResultsDB. Bodhi, for every update, goes around when anything changes. It has listeners for tests finishing. It has listeners for waivers appearing. It has listeners for all these things. Whenever anything looks like it might have changed, goes and asks Greenwave, the decision service, for a decision on the update. And it also asks Greenwave to send it the results, which is a weird architecture, but that's how it works. So Greenwave sends it a decision, passed or failed, and it sends it all the results from ResultsDB. And that's what you see on the automated tests tab. So everything is ultimately running through this system of ResultsDB, Greenwave, the message bus, and that's how everything comes together. So we have Fedora CI, we have the generic tests in Fedora CI, we have those per package tests, which I don't know exactly how those get triggered. I think it's another Jenkins pipeline. Those ultimately go to testing farm. Jenkins is really just the orchestrator to send things to testing farm. And then Jenkins also reports the results to ResultsDB at the end and sends out the message bus messages. We also have other systems hooking into this, as Fabio mentioned. We have OpenQA. So OpenQA, which we in the Fedora quality team kind of put together, just hooks into all this. So it listens out for the same Bodhi, for the same Fed messages that Fedora CI listens to, runs some tests, the tests finish, it sends the results to ResultsDB. Bodhi knows how to look for them, so they show up in Bodhi and they can factor into the gating result. Yeah, could you click on the automated tests again there, whoever's sharing the screen? Yeah, so the fedora-ci.tests are coming out of the Fedora CI pipeline. The update.tests come out of OpenQA. And that all kind of, people see it in Bodhi, so they think these are Bodhi tests, but Bodhi is just a presentation layer. So yeah, but that's how we're doing things in Fedora. Everything through the message bus, everything through these little microservices, and it worked for us. We bashed on it a lot, and now it's fairly functional and stable. I know Fedora has been exposed to Conflux. So I would say Fedora's thoughts on adopting Conflux are meh. Yeah, as Fabio says, hesitant. People aren't out in the streets with pitchforks opposed to Conflux. The standard response, I guess I would say, is, what does it do for me? Why would I care about Conflux, right? What problem is it solving for me? And I think, sorry, I'll get to this in a minute. I was going to say, I think this is similar to the response you would get to, hey, let's do Fedora on the model Veronica's described. Let's shift everything left into dist-git. Let's do all the testing there. People would be like, yeah, we could do that. What problem's it solving? You know, you wouldn't get a pitchfork mob, but you wouldn't get a rush of excited volunteers, right? It would be kind of indifference. Tomasz?
Yeah, and to add to what you just said, Adam, it's also like people are pointing out problems we have currently in the build pipeline in Fedora, and asking if this is solved in Conflux, and the answer is usually no. So that's like how are we going to convince people to use something which is not solving their problems?
Yeah.
But I think we will see something happening in the container space, because Fedora didn't have a tool previously to actually build containers randomly. So I think we will see some adoption there. And eventually, if Conflux will be able to solve some of the issues in the current pipeline, maybe we'll see some adoption. But as Adam said, it's more like, nah, like, show me what it fixes. If it fixes some problem, maybe we will get some buy-in from people.
Yeah. Brendan?
Yeah, so I think one of the precipitating factors for this call was that there are changes taking place inside Red Hat engineering on like focus for infrastructure that may affect things that we currently rely on in Fedora in large or small part. So I thought we should probably talk about those things so that we can make a plan. Coincidentally, this is the Miro board that Don shared. It's detailed, as you can probably imagine, based on his description. So we have the RPM build line, pipeline, Conflux release process, integration testing, RHEL and GitLab merge train, RHEL outputs, and then below that, start here. GitLab. Request. Developer workspace.
There. Okay.
The thing is, if Conflux is not interesting to you, this whole diagram becomes uninteresting, right? This is a huge change from what Fedora is doing, and internally, well, Conflux we're kind of being forced upon it, and a lot of it is regulatory. We need compliance. We want to have these certain customers. The governments are putting all these compliance rules in there around security, this and that. We need to conform to a Conflux as a way to all products go down this pipeline. So the pipeline is compliant, therefore all our products become compliant for free. Fedora doesn't have those type of rules or needs, maybe. So
yeah, that's a fair point. And I think the picture's coming out the same everywhere. It's like for Fedora, what we have now, we made it work. And what we're mostly interested in Fedora is things that make, a visible improvement to what we have now. What people So I would say we could do all of this stuff that RHEL is doing in Fedora, and we could make it good. We could make it work. People would be happy with it. It would require Red Hat probably to do a lot of the lifting, at least initially, because other people just would see it as a barrier, a thing that was going on that they had to deal with, but they wouldn't see it as something that they wanted to get out there and actively contribute to, right? So I think that's the big risk. I was going to say something else. Okay, I'll think about it. Oh, right. Brandon was talking about tools. So specifically, if we want to get into specific tools that Fedora relies on that I suspect Red Hat might be getting rid of, it's Greenwave, it's WaverDB, it's especially ResultsDB. We can work around Greenwave and WaverDB going away. It's not a problem. Just do it all in Bodhi. If ResultsDB stopped getting maintained, we would need to do something about that. So I am interested what the answers to those are.
Yeah, I posted the example to the chat. Like, sorry, I'm jumping the queue, but it's kind of answering Adam's point that he's bringing up right now. I posted an example there of the merge request command. Like, you get a command there with the test results and build results and links to logs. And how you waive stuff is that you post a reply to that command explaining why you are waiving things. So instead of having to go manually as a maintainer to WaverDB or some other places, you just have it all in that merge request. You post there like, hey, this failure is expected, stuff's broken, we know about it, whatever. Resolve that thread. And now that you have the mandatory approval, that person can say like, hey, I don't agree with the waiver, let's not get it merged. But if they agree with it, you're good to go and merge stuff.
Okay.
And as Chris posted, like, these things are forwarded to the WaverDB, but like we don't necessarily need to do that because we are not using those things in the decision process.
Yeah, in Fedora we put a button in Bodhi that says wave tests, and it creates waivers for you. That was how we solved the doing waivers is hard problem. Yeah. Steve?
Yeah, I just want to add to the statement around, the features and things like that between the build systems. I want to remind folks that, at least from my perspective, supportability is a big feature that we don't necessarily think about because you don't notice it until you don't have it and it becomes a problem. And you can look at, the amount of development happening, say, in the Koji repos or things like that, and maintenance happening there versus, what's happening in Conflux and that stuff going forward. So just wanted to throw that out there as also a point. It's not as cool as like brand new feature, this fixes this thing that everyone loves or doesn't want to deal with, but it is quite important to have an active development in your systems like this.
Yeah, Don.
So I'm trying to figure out what outcome we want here because Fedora, RHEL went one way, and it's not like we had much of a choice. Conflux was kind of the way. Fedora has more choice, and if you don't want to go Conflux, which is you're right, I'm not going to argue that. You're going in a different direction, and now we're starting to diverge, and it's starting to be like I start to wonder if we start to cause friction between the value of Fedora. And I'm not saying it's in a bad way, because now I'm looking at Hummingbird, which is trying to kind of do like a Fedora Rawhide type of thing in a RHEL-like way, in a really automated AI thing. And that starts to kind of enter the Fedora space too. And I had envisioned, I had hoped there was, from a testing perspective, we could take RHEL tests, put them in the Fedora, with Fedora being the front door upstream, find issues, work with the upstream community, have RHEL engage with Fedora to engage with upstream community in order to resolve problems early. So when we get down to RHEL, there's less problems. And the problem that we solve there is that we can do faster turnaround on packages, what Hummingbird's trying to do, because as Brendan sees internally, we're asked to move faster. And if we can't get on top of the bleeding edge stuff upstream, it's going to be harder to go faster if we're catching things 3 months later. So, but that's going to be a challenge with these workflows because it's asking Fedora to make a ton of changes, a churn for very little value. But I don't know how to rectify that, but that would be an outcome I would like to enjoy seeing. But
So just
there's no light at the end of the tunnel for me right now, I don't think.
So jump in the queue really quick. I think what we're seeing is that there are people that want to do container native work in Fedora, where Conflux is the thing they want to use because it solves problems for them. And we look at packager workflow like individual packages with RPMs. That's not currently solving problems for them. And so the thing that I'm alarmed about is that we're talking about, oh, okay, so we need one CI system for the container workflow and one CI system for the RPM workflow and one for GitLab and one for 4JO. And just the expansion, like the full matrix of combinations is very unwieldy. Like somebody has to maintain that stuff. And how do you go fast when you have like a dozen different systems that you need to maintain? This seems like something that we should be trying to avoid. And I'm not sure that this is like a Fedora versus RHEL/CentOS stream problem. This is just our infrastructure is we're going wide instead of doing consolidation work. Brian, go ahead.
Brendan, you and Don were talking, and it's kind of down the same direction of the question that I have here. Is like, are we trying to focus specifically on the infrastructure sprawl problem, or do we see a different type of testing that Fedora needs to be successful that we aren't addressing today? Like, Adam, you were talking about how your focus is mostly on functional tests and testing Fedora as a whole. Is that working for us now, or do we need to start looking at other patterns, across the rest of the ecosystem in the industry to be more successful in the future? And again, like putting aside the sort of the resourcing concerns, do you feel like we're in good shape from a testing perspective, or do we need to put some focus in on the actual activities here?
I'll let David go first, but I will answer after him.
I mean, I was just making the comment that we were, we're working on this, but then also one of the things that I see as especially working on cloud images and desktop images, the complexity here is that we're going to see a lot of people trying to figure out how they're going to shell out of Conflux to get their work done, right? And that's going to end up being a place where we have a lot of workarounds that we talked. There was some conversation around from Steve, I think, very specifically around the amount of effort that is required to manage and update Koji, and I think we're going to find that we're managing and updating individual incubators for specific types of projects like spins and ISOs and the like.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great point, David, is that I see this whole pattern as a recurring pattern, right? And one of the classic factors in it is that Fedora is way bigger than Red Hat. So if you want to build anything like this and you say, okay, I'm going to do it the right way, I'm going to build it in Fedora first, pretty soon you start thinking about things like, okay, well, how does this work for the 5,000 package Rust cluster? And how does this work for the 15 non-default desktops that Fedora ships? And it makes everything you're doing into a bigger set of work, and that is genuinely, a thing. It's very easy to look at that and go, hey, I'll just go do it over here in CentOS Stream or RHEL first, where the package set is smaller and all the problems are smaller, right? So that's something we need to deal with. I wanted to address Donald's point, because that also is, this is, to me, again, as it's a recurring process, we keep getting to this same endpoint where we look at what's happened and we say, okay, so CentOS Stream and RHEL did this thing. It didn't really happen in Fedora. Now we've got a divergence. That's bad. How do we fix that? And I would like us to stop getting to that endpoint somehow and start by, fix the steps that happened before that in the process so that we don't get to that point. So that instead we get to the point where we did the thing in Fedora and then we did it in CentOS Stream and then we did it in RHEL and everything was great. That is that's the upstream first vision, and I recognize there are difficulties in that, but not following it also leads us to difficulties, right? It leads us to this difficulty. So I just want to, note that. To Brian's point, I think honestly, it's hard to compare to enterprise products because I don't have a lot of visibility on that, but I think Fedora is doing pretty well when I compare it to other community products. Our reputation for quality has gone up considerably over the time we've been, using the current system. It would always be nice to have more testing, but so there was this experience we had like around 2017, I want to say, when CI was the industry fad, where Red Hat, to our credit, did say to Red Hat maintainers, okay, let's do upstream first. Everybody take all your tests, put them in Fedora. And this was, the original Fedora CI initiative. It was all about enabling these per package tests in every package. So that happened. Like a lot of the packages in Fedora have tests that were upstream during that push. The downside is that it turns out just having tests is not inherently useful, right? Tests just sit there, they run, they either pass or fail. If nobody looks at the results or cares about them, it doesn't mean anything. So there are packages in Fedora which have had these upstream tests for 8 years. The tests got broken 7 years ago. They fail on every run and nobody cares. There are packages which aren't like that. There are packages where the tests are maintained and the maintainers look at them. That's fantastic. But that needs to happen, right? So it's always good to have more tests, but they also need to be tests that somebody owns, right? They need a life cycle. There needs to be someone who says, okay, when that test fails, I am going to care about it. And I would say for the packages where we have that, for the little topic areas where we have that, it's definitely a bonus. And it would always be good if more package maintainers did that. But broad picture, I think the functional testing thing has worked very well. Like we've got wins like Fedora Rawhide almost never is completely broken anymore. And it used to be completely broken all the time. The composes rarely fail, and they used to fail all the time. So things have definitely gotten better under this system, I would say. Brendan?
Yeah, I wanted to add a little extra context for Brian's question. So, as we have community members here that are not involved in RHEL directly, so every time you make a change in RHEL, it requires a quality engineer to actually test that change, like verify that it did not break things. So that's basically unit testing, right? And if you have automated systems, you get some system testing as well. We don't have anything like that in the Fedora space. We only have the system testing. It's a pragmatic matter because you have community contributors, they're volunteers, they're making a change, they're wholly responsible for the packages that they're working on, and because of that, like system testing is what functional testing is what catches things, because you don't know if your package is going to be the one that breaks one of the other 60,000. So this is an architectural necessity. That said, I don't think anybody would mind if more of RHEL engineering came in and did more of its own testing process, its own unit testing process with Fedora package updates. It's just that it is inconvenient to do so right now because we are using different systems. So like overall, I think everybody would like to have a higher quality release, but there are systemic issues in the way, like our infrastructure being different.
So to kind of follow up on what Adam said, I think that our testing is high quality and we have fairly good results. But on the other hand, this is because a lot of work and heroic efforts by people is happening. And I think that the fact that the testing system is has so many semi-redundant pieces and each one has its quirks, this is a big barrier for contributors, right? I mean, as somebody who does not, I mean, I'm involved in many things, but I don't do QA every day, and every time I have to even figure out which of the systems is failing and then go through the 5 layers of things. This is already tough, and I think that people struggle with this, and it would be a very good long-term goal to have a simpler system that is just easier to understand. On the other hand, having what is extremely important is the ability to debug things locally, and our setup with Koji and stuff allows this easily. Koji, RPM build, and things like that. It seems that Conflux would actually be a huge step backwards in this area, because it would just make debugging even more painful than it is. So I don't know, like, summarize, I think that we should strive to get the same testing results more cheaply in terms of human effort in the future.
Adam.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to Brian's point because it's a good one. Is divergence inherently a bad thing? And I would say no, it's not. Like, sometimes it's okay, but there's a degree of divergence which has negative consequences. It has the consequence Spishak noted, right? It makes things more difficult for people who have to interact with every element that's diverged. Because if you're the systemd person, you need to know how systemd gets tested in Fedora and CentOS stream and RHEL, and as he says, you wind up looking at 15 different systems and trying to understand them all. So that's a risk of divergence. And the other risk of divergence, to our FRCL, concept is that if Fedora, CentOS, and RHEL diverge too much, they're not FRCL anymore. They're just these three different things that Red Hat happens to be involved in some way. And as a Fedora person, my concern with that is that then Red Hat goes, why are we doing this Fedora thing anyway? And decides to end run around us. So I think it is in our broader interests to try and maintain some degree of convergence, so we all keep working together and so forth. But on that topic, I do think, like, if we can't actually get to the point where the system is literally the same everywhere, what we can do is look for points of commonality. So it's interesting that in the before Conflux days, we did kind of wind up with the CI, with the message bus and a few of the microservices from the giant board in common, right? Those were points where, and with things like the CoreOS CI and OpenQA, it was good that we could hook into that system, right? Like OpenQA is a thing that, and CoreOS CI are things that don't exist inside RHEL, as far as I know. But they aren't just sitting out entirely on their own in a separate space. They found, a point where they could integrate with the envisaged flow, and then we brought those things together. So maybe we can do something like that with Red Hat's, Forge/Conflux vision. Even if we don't adopt it wholesale, we can at least be more familiar with it, look at the elements of it, and say, okay, we can maybe take that element. Like as Veronica said, if the pipeline is adaptable to other forges, maybe we use the pipeline even though we don't use the same forge. And maybe other bits of the flow, because we haven't gone into the technical details, maybe other bits of it can be shared even if the whole thing isn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where we are. I think that's where we're probably trending as well. Just slightly, we aren't parallel lines. We're slightly diverging more, it seems like. So maybe Conflux gets us back a little closer. Adam, you said something about Rawhide being more stable now than it used to be. Is there anything that you can pinpoint why it became more stable?
I don't want to blow my own horn, but 90% it's the update testing in OpenQA, the critical path update testing, and the fact that in that testing we build images. So in Fedora we do have this concept called the critical path, which is a little bigger than RHEL, I think, a few thousand packages in the middle of the distribution, and those packages have about it used to be 80, like 150 tests run on them by OpenQA. every time there's an update to one of those packages in any branch. And as part of that test, we build a live image, we build a network install image, we build a container image, we probably build some other images I've forgotten about, and we test that they install. And because we do that, when we get to the full-scale compose, it usually works because we tested it for every single package and we gate on it. So if any of those packages failed, they didn't make it through. I would say that was the biggest single contribution to like stability and predictability. And we kind of stumbled on it by accident, honestly, but it turns out to be really good.
Okay. I'm curious, Veronica or others, have we done any stumbling on the RHEL side where suddenly things got a lot better? Like, are there any things we should be trying to replicate?
I think the removal of the manual steps was something that people were really happy about, like the move to having everything done in the merge request. I remember there were folks that replied on the RHEL Devel mailing list like, hey, Christmas came early, this is the best gift I got, that I don't need to submit builds manually and all of these things. So that seems like a RHEL development process is complicated. It has a lot of rules, some of which you can't really do anything about because they come from the business. It's also a process that has a lot of small changes in them for a long time. So if you maintain a package for RHEL and you have the long life cycle, you may be updated in like 1 year, then you do the next update maybe a year later, and between then the process is completely different than it used to be. So abstracting away all the technical details where you just push code to a Git and create a merge request out of it, and everything else happens, and all the infrastructure and process changes are hidden from you. That seems to have made things a lot more streamlined and people pretty happy. There are, again, as I mentioned, a lot more improvements that we can do to make this even better, and maybe one day we'll find time to do that. But this seems to be like the biggest change that I can name right now.
I feel like that's a really interesting point because at least instinctively in Fedora, I think that it's kind of the reverse impulse, because in Fedora, it's a lot of, not everybody, so to some of us it's just a chore, but a lot of packages see that the manual package process is the thing they do. You know, they're super proud of knowing how to run Fed package and go through all those manual steps, right? So if you come to them and say, hey, good news, you don't have to do these manual steps anymore, you just have to send pull requests, I'll be like, aw, as opposed to being like, yay, right? So, but maybe we can creatively sell it to people. Like, hey, look, this, merge requests aren't like an annoying add-on to the process. They're this cool new way to do the process, but it might require really good communication.
Adam, do you think those folks who like, messing with Fed package themselves, is that the majority of the maintainer base right now? Or is it a large minority? Like, what's your sense on the sizing? I know that's really hard to even count. But
sense on. I suspect it depends on how you measure. I suspect if you looked at, if you went by like contribution volume, right? Like if you went by who are the people who make the most changes to the core packages, I think in that set it wouldn't be a whole lot. I think in that set, a lot of those people would probably be happy to go to a model where all they do is send pull requests. If you look, sorry, go ahead. Maybe I'm wrong.
Wait, let me interject, because I think it's a bathtub shaped curve. Because Fed package works great, right? And we had this discussion previously when we were talking about some people wanted to do pull requests for everything. Is that if you are doing Rust packaging and you need to do 100 packages, you have this in your short history, you have a loop that does this, and you couldn't care less. It takes 5 seconds to find and invoke, and you're done. Any great workflow with pull requests is going to just destroy you. And on the other hand, if you just run Fed package once a year, then you're still fine. So actually, I think that the thing is that if you have a great tool, like Thread Package is a great tool, then it's just pleasant to use it, and it's very hard to optimize better than that.
Yeah, that's a great point. So again, it comes back to the same central thing, which is that this isn't insuperable, right? But it would require probably Red Hat to do a lot of work, because what we'd have to offer people is not just the pull request workflow, but the little quality of life conveniences around the pull request workflow, which let you have a really nice, efficient workflow like you had before, right? Otherwise, it's going to look like a downgrade to people.
Okay, so we are coming to the end of the hour. I feel like we've got a lot of information out there, but no specific direction that we want to take based on today's conversation. Does anybody have anything they're like, hey, based on this, I'm not going to go do this other thing?
I'm definitely going to go look at the Miro board. I think it's really valuable. I want to thank Veronica, because it was really useful to have that overview, and now I have notes on that. So that was super, super useful. And I think gonna go away, look at that and say, okay, what out of this can we possibly pull in at least? And it's just really useful to know exactly where that is going. So that was great for me.
All right. Well, then let's wrap it up here. Veronica, thank you again. Everybody, thanks for joining today. Next week, we're going to talk about FRCL 36, Fedora community build infrastructure shortage negatively impacting Fedoras for Fedora, CentOS, and RHEL. That should be fun. I will see y'all later. Thanks for joining.
Bye-bye.
Bye.